Hello, sweet squirrel listeners. I'm so sorry. I'm going to disappoint y'all. I am not going to read the picture in the house, at least not yet. It has some uncomfortable word or so in it, and one of the characters in it has even though I'm country, a dialect that would be hard for me to read, so I'm so sorry. We're still going to be with H.P. Lovecraft, and I hadn't really looked at this too much, just the beginning of it, but I hope it'll be alright. We'll see. And I'm so dumb. I'm so thick. I didn't get the ending of the book. Sometimes I just read and I don't comprehend what I read. So thank y'all for telling me what was going on with that last story I read. Okay, H.P. Lovecraft again, and this is Sweet Ermengarde, or The Heart of a Country Girl. Chapter 1 is called A Simple Rustic Maid. Ermengarde Stubbs was the beauteous blonde daughter of Hiram Stubbs, a poor but honest farmer hyphen bootlegger of Hogton, Vermont. Her name was originally Ethel Ermengarde, but her father persuaded her to drop the first name after the passage of the 18th Amendment, averring that it made him thirsty by reminding him of ethyl alcohol. And then it has the chemical compound, whatever you call that, C2H5OH. His own products contained mostly methyl or wood alcohol, CH3OH. Ermengarde confessed to 16 summers and branded as mendacious all reports to the effect that she was 30. His vocab is way beyond mine. She had large black eyes, a prominent Roman nose, light hair which was never dark at the roots except when the local drugstore was short on supplies, and a beautiful but inexpensive complexion. She was about 5'5" inches tall, weighed 115.47 pounds on her father's corn scales, also off them, and was adjudged mostly lovely by all the village swains who admired her father's farm and liked his liquid crops. Ermengarde's hand was sought in matrimony by two ardent lovers. Squire Hardman, who had a mortgage on the old home and was very rich and elderly. He was dark and cruelly handsome and always rode horseback and carried a riding crop. Long had he sought the radiant Ermengarde, and now his ardor was fanned to fever heat by a secret known to him alone, for upon the humble acres of Farmer Stubbs he had discovered a vein of rich gold. "Aha," said he, "I will win the maiden ere her parent knows of his unsuspected wealth, and join to my fortune a greater fortune still." And so he began to call twice a week instead of once as before. But alas, for the sinister designs of a villain, Squire Hardman was not the only suitor for the fair one. Close by the village dwelt another, the handsome Jack Manley, whose curly yellow hair had won the sweet Ermengarde's affection when both were toddling youngsters at the village school. Jack had long been too bashful to declare his passion, but one day, while strolling along a shady lane by the old mill with Ermengarde, he had found courage to utter that which was within his heart. "O light of my life," said he, "my soul is so overburdened that I must speak. Ermengarde, my ideal," he pronounced it ideal, Deel, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. "Love has become an empty thing without you. Beloved of my spirit, behold a suppliant kneeling in the dust before thee. Ermengarde, O Ermengarde, raise me to a heaven of joy, and say that you will some day be mine. It is true I am poor, but have I not youth and strength to fight my way to fame? This I can do only for you, dear Ermengarde, my only, my most precious." But here he paused to wipe his eyes and mop his brow, and the fair responded, "Jack, my angel, at last. This is so unexpected and quite unprecedented. I had never dreamed that you entertained sentiments of affection in connection with one so lowly as Farmer Stubbs' child, for I am still but a child. Such is your natural nobility that I had thought, you would be blind to such slight charms as I possess, and that you would seek your fortune in the great city, there meeting and wedding one of those more comely damsels whose splendor we observe in fashion books. But Jack, since it is really I whom you adore, let us waive all needless circumlocution." I might have screwed that up, put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. "Jack, my darling, my heart has long been susceptible to your manly graces. I cherish an affection for thee. Consider me thine own, and be sure to buy the ring at Perkins' hardware store, where they have such nice imitation diamonds in the window. Ermengarde, me love, Jack, my precious, my darling, my own, my God, G-A-W-D, God." And then chapter 2, and the villain still pursued her. But these tender passages, sacred through their fervor, did not pass unobserved by profane eyes, for crouched in the bushes and gritting his teeth was the dastardly Squire Hardman. When the lovers had finally strolled away, he leapt out into the lane, viciously twirling his mustache and riding crop, and kicking an unquestionably innocent cat who was also out strolling. "Curses," he cried. "Hardman, not the cat. I am foiled in my plot to get the farm and the girl, but Jack Manley shall never succeed. I am a man of power, and we shall see." Thereupon he repaired to the humble Stubbs' cottage, where he found the fond father in the still cellar washing bottles under the supervision of the gentle wife and mother, Hannah Stubbs. Coming directly to the point, the villain spoke. "Farmer Stubbs, I cherish a tender affection of long standing for your lovely offspring, Ethel Ermengarde. I'm consumed with love and wish her hand in matrimony. Always a man of few words, I will not descend to euphemism. Give me the girl, or I will foreclose the mortgage and take the old home." "But, sir," pleaded the distracted Stubbs, while his stricken spouse merely glowered, "I'm sure the child's affections are elsewhere placed." "She must be mine," sternly snapped the sinister squire. "I will make her love me. None shall resist my will. Either she becomes my wife, or the old homestead goes." And with a sneer and flick of his riding crop, Squire Hardman strode out into the night. Scarce had he departed when there entered by the back door the radiant lovers, eager to tell the senior Stubbses of their newfound happiness. Imagine the universal consternation which reigned when all was known. Tears flowed like white ale till suddenly Jack remembered he was the hero and raised his head, declaiming in appropriately virile accents, "Never shall the fair Ermengarde be offered up to this beast as a sacrifice while I live. I shall protect her. She is mine, 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 and then some. Fear not, dear father and mother-to-be, I will defend you all. You shall have the old home still." Adverb, not noun. Although Jack was by no means out of sympathy with Stubbs' kind of farm produce, "and I shall lead to the altar the beauteous Ermengarde, loveliest of her sex. To perdition with the cruel squire and his ill-gotten gold, the right shall always win, and a hero is always in the right. I will go to the great city, and there make a fortune to save you all ere the mortgage fall due. Farewell, my love, I leave you now in tears, but I shall return to pay off the mortgage, and claim you as my bride. Jack, my protector. Ermy, my Tootsie Roll. Dearest, darling, and don't forget that ring at Perkins. Oh, ah." And it says curtains, so these are in acts. This is funny. Chapter 3, A Dastardly Act. But the resourceful Squire Hardman was not so easily to be foiled. Close by the village lay a disreputable settlement of unkempt shacks populated by a shiftless scum who lived by thieving and other odd jobs. Here the devilish villain secured 2 accomplices, ill-favored fellows who were very clearly no gentlemen. And in the night the evil 3 broke into the Stubbses' cottage and abducted the fair Ermengarde, taking her to a wretched hovel in the settlement and placing her under the charge of Mother Maria, a hideous old hag. Farmer Stubbs was quite distracted and would have advertised in the papers if the cost had been less than a cent a word for each insertion. Ermengarde was firm and never wavered in her refusal to wed the villain. "Aha, my proud beauty," quoth he, "I have ye in my power, and sooner or later I will break that will of thine. Meanwhile, think of your poor old mother and father as turned out of the hearth and home and wandering helpless through the meadows." "Oh, spare them, said the maiden. "Never, ha, ha, ha," leered the brute. The brute. And so the cruel days sped on, while all in ignorance young Jack Manley was seeking fame and fortune in the great city. Chapter 4, Subtle Villainy. One day as Squire Hardman sat in the front parlor of his expensive and palatial home, indulging in his favorite pastime of gnashing his teeth and swishing his riding crop, a great thought came to him, and he cursed aloud at the statue of Satan on the onyx mantelpiece. "Fool that I am," he cried. "Why did I ever waste all this trouble on the girl when I could get the farm by simply foreclosing? I never thought of that. I'll let the girl go, take the farm, and be free to wed some fair city maid, like the leading lady of that burlesque troupe which played last week at the town hall." And so he went down to the settlement, apologized to Ermengarde, let her go home, and went home himself to plot new crimes and invent new modes of villainy. The days wore on, and the Stubbses grew very sad over the coming loss of their home, and still but nobody seemed able to do anything about it. One day a party of hunters from the city chanced to stray over the old farm, and one of them found the gold. Hiding his discovery from his companions, he feigned rattlesnake bite and went to the Stubbs' cottage for aid of the usual kind. Ermengarde opened the door and saw him. He also saw her, and in that moment resolved to win her and the gold. "For my old mother's sake, I must," he cried loudly to himself. "No sacrifice is too great." And I'll stop there. There's chapter 4, 5. Yeah, 4 is called the city chap. So we'll stop there. 4. Where's 5? Oh, there's 5. 5 is the city chap. Yeah, 4 is what we just read. 5 is the city chap. Chapter 6 is Alone in the Great City. Chapter 7 is Happy Ever Afterward. That's all, so we'll read the rest of it tomorrow. I like this one. Stupid but funny. Kind of funny. Okay. Oh, this doesn't do a... Let's try to bookmark it. Don't do that. Alright, I hope y'all enjoyed that. I'm sorry my voice is so raspy. It's getting worse and worse, seems like. Maybe if I'd pour myself some more love potion number 9. Oh, don't tip over. Don't leak out. That's some good tea. I'm going to have to get myself some more rooibos. You know, that's the tea that Ursula loves. That thing kept it warm. I knew it would for a while, but I don't know how long. Anyway, love y'all very much. Be sweet, don't be ugly. Bye-bye.